13A asks students to distinguish between the health-related and the skill-related components of physical fitness. I've gone through and bolded a few things here, which I see as the important aspects of the question. First of all, being distinguished. You have to look at the health-related and you have to look at the skill-related components of fitness, and it's worth 5 marks. If we go and have a look and see what our key term distinguish actually means, it says here is for distinguish, recognise or note, indicate as being distinct or different from, but more importantly, to note the differences between. So what students need to do for this question was they need to note the differences between the health-related and the skill-related components of physical fitness. If we have a look at our syllabus, we'll notice that health-related and skill-related is where it's come from. It actually lists some of the health-related components there, and it lists these skill-related components there. But remembering, we're asking students to be able to go through and distinguish between the two. If we look at this answer here, just as we go through it, so we've got distinguish between the health-related and skill-related components of fitness. The important thing, or the nice thing that I like to see in this, is that the student has actually underlined health-related and skill-related, knowing that he has to concentrate on those. So first of all, health-related components of physical fitness relates to the physical state of the individual. Essentially, the health-related components tell us how healthy a person is in relation to their body's ability to function efficiently. So he's gone through and told us what health-related components are all about. He's then given me an example. He says an example of a health-related component is body composition. This justifies my point, as body composition relates to body mass index, and to have a healthy body mass index, you need to be physically healthy. So therefore, he's gone through and he said what health is, and he's given an example to support it. He's then gone through and looked at the skill-related components of physical fitness, relates the skill a person acquires to enhance their physical ability. An example of a skill-related component is agility or flexibility. With these two components, a person is able to undergo exercises that require agility or flexibility. The important part here about this answer is, he's got a little section and it says how to distinguish, which is what the question at the top is asking us to do, distinguish. So what are the differences, or note the difference between them? Health-related components relate to a being's overall physical health, and the skill-related components relate to the skills a person acquires to undergo physical activity. So he's gone through and looked at all the areas that were required for this answer. Some of the feedback from the general answers from students was that the students were able to go through and tell me what the health-related components were. They were able to go through and say what the skill-related components of physical fitness were, but they struggled with the distinguish, to tell me what the differences between the two are, and that was the real key part of the answer. So in order to get to get 5 marks, students had to have some form of a distinguish in there. If the distinguish was a bit ordinary or wasn't covering both areas, how they were different, might only have been a 3 or a 4. Students went through and gave me examples of different components of fitness that relate to skill and also health related, and they got them confused, or they might write 1 or 2 and then say etc., etc., showing that they don't really understand all of them, or these are some of them. The examples was good. I was happy with the examples that were given for this answer by most questions. And as you can see by this answer here, is that the student has actually highlighted health and has highlighted skill related, and he's actually highlighted distinguish. So the 3 main parts of the question that were being asked, the student has made standing out. For a lot of students, this was a part they struggled. Their underlining, the setting out, and the structure of their answer was poor, and this is an area that students will definitely need to work on. So that's question 13A.